Welcome. I'm gonna double talk. Blah blah. Um, this is the video that you were promised, part two of parallel universes and Mandela effects, time slips, time jumps, time traveling, deja vu, apparitions that are dressed in different era of clothing than us, all explained with a very cool reaction to and discussion of a movie that I've just watched called Parallel and or Vertical. It has both names. You can find it by either name. I rented mine on Amazon. It's amazing. It is the very best movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Truly, hands down. I firmly believe that. And my friend that watched it with me agrees. It was an amazing movie for each of us on our own terms and opinion. And then we had a discussion about it. And I'm going to attach the audio of that and let you listen to our conversation that we had after this movie was over. Okay, so I hope I have things falling off my washer in there. I hope that this is going to play this, let you hear this audio.
Hit it.
So we're being watched.
Right.
All the different mini versions. They're trying to learn if we evolve, if we figure it out, how we deal with it.
I don't know if it's us watching it.
And it's not us. It's not us.
Maybe our higher self, us, right? Like we were talking about the container, the body container that we're all still in stasis in somewhere is like a higher evolved us, right? And that, whoever them people are that's there protecting our bodies, whoever they are, they're the ones watching this multi-world theory thing funnel down to the one optimal timeline where we stop all of it.
Because otherwise it's just going to continue to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow.
Because it's already gotten out of hand, being exponentially amplified the way it is. So many fucking multi-world theories out there now. Multi-worlds.
Multi-worlds, yeah.
There's like a bazillion of us.
The more people, the more worlds.
And, what? Okay, so something might have happened. Maybe our creator, our intelligent design God, put this into play to begin with. But then some other archon overlord bullshitters came along and was like, oh, cute project, let's fuck with that and hack it and make them because we're creators, right? We're creators. So we'll make them make so many worlds that it don't matter which one, because there's so many of them for us to grab from, feed off of.
Quantum
as
leap.
loosh. And they're so fucked up and caught up in their
Spanish?
own little world.
Quantum.
We say that all
They
the
don't
time.
know the other worlds exist.
They don't even know. And you and me and people like us, Starseeds, we did what is the word I want to use? Like a jump. We did a jump. We said, whoosh, we're time traveling back and we're fixing this shit. We got to cut it off at the knees because it's getting out of hand. And that's why the whole timeline thing is funneling down there. And not just that. Not just that is why, though. Because that is a cyclical thing. That timeline coming down to one. Because, I've known all along that timeline thing's supposed to happen. And I've known all along, look at me just standing up. I'm so hyped. But I've known all along that
Lizzie people.
People with their little puppet master hands in the pot trying to manipulate that and move it a certain way that benefits them.
Yep.
Right? So that's why we are in play as starseeds or volunteers or whatever the fuck you want to call us. That's why we're in play, because we knew that the Archons or whoever they are, the Lizzie people, Lizzie people, are the ones manipulating this, right? Trying to hijack it. Again, trying to hijack us on the timeline thing. And that's why we came here in such large numbers, so that we could for sure win. We just didn't know for sure what we were winning, right? Like, because we come here with kind of a mind swipe almost.
Right.
It's like they send you through the fucking chute like a bank thing. And when you pass through, it goes, "Whirr," and wipes your mind. And like most people, and I honestly think that's why the albino man in black dude was following me around my whole childhood. Because I got through the fucking pass. I got a free
Bobbing
pass
and
like
weaving.
Milo with the reading. Right?
Right.
Somehow I got through the fucking chute
And it didn't wipe your mind completely.
without the swipe. And they're like, fuck, she's ahead of the game. We gotta go, this ain't fair. We gotta do this fair. She's gotta get her mind swiped. And I'm like the gingerbread man, catch me if you can. You know, ducking and dodging and hiding, and they never did get me. Well, and even that Alanis chick showed up to keep them from getting me the one time in the park. The big, beautiful girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think that's why I remember and nobody else does, because they couldn't swipe me. I was wily. I was wily, and I was like, nope, you ain't getting me. But, back to the subject. I digress. So, okay. Let's rewind back some. I'm still not going to completely be sold on the fact that we can't heal things, because I know we can. I know we can heal things. That's a whole zero doubt. I mean, God said so. God told me in that moment when she had the car wreck, and I could have just resigned to begging and pleading and
And you didn't.
thinking the worst, and I did not. I mean, easily I could have done that. And he said to me, you know what to do, but zero doubt. So, I don't think I totally plucked her from another parallel universe.
Maybe you swapped them.
Because I did heal her. But maybe that's it right there. See, her body had to be able, as a vessel, had to be able to sustain a soul. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It has to be vital to hold a soul. And so I healed that body, that vessel, and the soul came in from somewhere else, another world, where she did die in a car wreck. I'm presuming. Otherwise, how could I have moved that soul, right? But because we're connected, she's my child. That whole Einstein theory about, is a string theory I think it's like, or theory of relativity, I don't remember which. But anyway, he says it doesn't matter if you're all the way across the universe from each other. If there's a connection,
You'll feel it.
like a magnetic connection, you can pull it to you instantaneously faster than the speed of light. So, let's say in another world, that car crash happened as well.
At the same
time.
Maybe the mom.
Right? That mom drops to her knees, resides to my baby's dead, gave up, done. And this mom over here said, no. That's not good enough. What can I do to fix her is what I said. What can I do? Because you're
And
not
they
taking my
swapped.
child. And so I was able, as long as I was able to stabilize the vessel, that soul could come in. Because this child of mine didn't know what happened to her, kept asking me 1,000 times over what happened to her. They said that was maybe short-term amnesia, but they weren't sure because she knew her name, she knew how old she was, she knew what year it was, she knew what grade she was in. So, like, if it's short-term amnesia, she shouldn't have remembered any of those things.
Right.
Right? But she kept asking me what happened, and I'd have to tell her about the car wreck over and over and over again. She'd look at me like I was crazy, like that's not what happened. In her memory, that's not what happened. And I'm like, I even asked her questions like, did you see heaven? Did you see a light? What kind of experience? And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't have anything like that. She's like, 1 minute I'm awake, 1 minute I'm asleep, next minute I'm awake again. That's all I know. And I'm like, what? No light, no nothing. You died 3
Never.
times. Surely you just saw something. And then, like, her favorite color was a whole different color.
Yeah, I remember you telling me
Right?
that.
It wasn't green anymore. It was blue now. And her favorite actor was Natalie Wood now. Her favorite movie is Breakfast at Tiffany's. Like, everything about her was different. And she'd literally never seen Natalie Wood or Breakfast at Tiffany's ever in her life. She was way beyond her years in knowledge of old silver screen actors and actresses. She even blew the psychologist away at rehab with all the information she was telling them about it that she knew. This was not my child.
So she had an older.
And I kept saying, this is not my child, right? This don't make sense. And that's when Patty said to me, maybe she's like what you call a walk-in. And I'm like, but how's that work? Because she still knows I'm her mom. I mean, she's got some memories, just not all of them, right? Just not the same, all the same. But this whole multi-world theory thing makes sense. That in another world, even though she was only 10 going on 11 in that other world, she's still the same age, right? Mm-hmm. Had same accident, had an accident that killed her with the same parents, same everything, same brothers and sisters.
Yep.
But in that lifetime, that mother introduced her to things about the silver screen. Marilyn Monroe, she was suddenly obsessed with Marilyn Monroe even. And she didn't know who, like I never showed her none of that, you know? Mm-hmm. Even though I love it, I never shared it with her. But she knew all of it all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. So maybe this me in the other world,
yep,
where her soul came from, actually taught her those things, introduced her to those things, and that was their thing together, right? Mm-hmm. Because in this lifetime, that didn't happen. We didn't watch silver screen movies. We watched Disney movies. That was our thing together. She was big into princess stuff and Disney movies. So we literally owned like 65 Disney movies on VHS. Because she was all about it in this life. So technically I did lose my child from this lifetime. Just like that movie that we just watched. That's fucking trippy, dude. But it makes so much sense to me. Like, it makes so much sense. All right, talk to me. I gotta breathe.
I'm thinking. I'm just thinking. It's...
Okay, so back to the starseed thing then. We come into this one lifetime all together, all like we're holding hands. We're jumping into that very same timeline together, all at once, all as starseeds. So that we're already hitting the ground running with an advantage because we're all in the same world. And this is the world we wake up in. This is the world that we realize how to fucking get out of the Matrix. And that's what the Matrix really is. The Matrix is this multitude of universes, parallel universes, that keeps us all fucked up. And it's like cracking the fucking mirror, right? We break the damn mirror. We seal the portal. We blow up the portal, basically, without dynamite.
Right.
We blow it up by using our brain and figuring out how it works to know that we can close it. See, so we got to be even smarter than like the Mayans and shit, because they were trying to leave stuff to tell about the cyclical shit. Bless their hearts, or we wouldn't have even figured all this out to get this far. So bless their hearts for giving us that piece of the puzzle. And then our job as starseeds, our job is to take that next piece of puzzle and put it into place, which is to make sure that future generations, because we are creators, we can't change that shit. We're going to have multiple worlds again.
Yeah.
But to keep that shit on a down low. Watch our back in all of them. We have to teach this across the board. This has to be common knowledge for everybody, how parallel universes work, how quantum physics really works, who we really the hell are. So that in every single lifetime that gets created, we all have this knowledge and wisdom. And that don't change. That has to be like the template, if you will.
Yeah, because that's what's going to say.
And we set the stage to make the template because we're now at that point of what Dolores Cannon calls that new earth. where we create the new Earth and the split happens, right? Because all the timelines are funneling down to the one. So we are the ones that can create that template, that foundation.
So maybe, so in theory or
Yeah, in theory.
whatever,
Yeah.
and you talk about the world splitting. What if the world splitting is when we do it and the one timeline, and then all the multi-universes just, we don't close them off, they just theoretically split.
Theoretically, we split off from the whole fucking lot, and that's how we wipe the karma clean.
And you have your one,
because we start with our one
all over again. You have the new new world.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Because now you're only one at the moment. You're only one universe, one reality.
So that's where the template needs to
We're
be
brewing
set right
some
there,
new
is to keep it
Deja.
just the one reality. Even though the original purpose of the whole multi-world thing was to learn. But we've learned. So we take that lesson and we move on now to just one world. And everybody that's not ready for that bullshit, they get to stay over there in the chaos soup.
And yes, they're still there, but we're not connected
Oh my
anymore.
God, do you know what I just saw in my head? The fucking Buddha. Is it Buddha? Is it the Buddha wheel of life? Somebody's got the big fucking Tibetan. It's the Tibetan thing. Is that Buddha? I don't know. Anyway, that great big wheel of life thing, and how each section of that pie in that wheel,
I know what you're talking about,
is lessons like recycled souls.
Yep.
Reincarnation lessons,
and then outside of that you got something else too.
And the center of it is like that Kali Yuga or something like that. It's called. Now I might not be saying that right, but the Nirvana comes to mind too. That's where Nirvana is, because Nirvana is where you've learned all your lessons and you know how to live in perfect balance with everything. And so in this lifetime, if we can have enough of us wake up to understanding our full potential, who we really are, and learn how to use that to create and balance everything, then we really have created Nirvana. We really have created like a heaven on earth. We really have created Age of Aquarius. We really have created, what is it called? Shambhala, right? All of that. Every one of them words, Garden of Eden, right? All these fanciful, peaceful places that they've always talked about. All of the world, the countries' belief systems have that perfect paradise place. And no, I mean, it wouldn't be perfect to begin with, of course, because we're still like children in a sense, learning how to navigate through that and use the new tools that we have. But
you're starting over.
It's a good start.
And you're starting over, and you're given the world. You're given a new chance to correct the issues that happened in the past.
Yeah.
New life.
Not repeat history anymore.
Not repeat history. Like you learn from it, and now now you have this new one. Okay, now show me what you learned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which could be the way it goes all throughout.
I'm sure it is.
And then when you don't progress and you stay the same,
you
that's
just keep
when
repeating history until you learn how to get out of the loop, right? How to get out of the matrix. And the whole key to that is to know that you're in control without being in control, which sounds really fucked up, I know. But it's the relaxation of that pie in that wheel.
I know what you're talking about.
Is lessons like recycled souls,
yep.
Reincarnation lessons,
and then outside of that you got something else too.
And the center of it is like that Kali Yuga or something like that. It's called. Now I might not be saying that right, but the Nirvana comes to mind too. That's where Nirvana is, because Nirvana is where you've learned all your lessons and you know how to live in perfect balance with everything. And so in this lifetime, if we can have enough of us wake up to understanding our full potential, who we really are, and learn how to use that to create and balance everything, then we really have created nirvana. We really have created like a heaven on earth. We really have created Age of Aquarius. We really have created, what is it called? Shambhala, right? All of that. Every one of them words, Garden of Eden, right? All these fanciful, peaceful places that they've always talked about. All of the world, the countries' belief systems have that perfect paradise place. And no, I mean, it wouldn't be perfect to begin with, of course, because we're still like children in a sense, learning how to navigate through that and use the new tools that we have. But
you're starting over.
It's a good start.
And you're starting over, and you're given the world. You're given a new chance to correct the issues that happened in the past.
Yeah.
New life.
Not repeat history anymore.
Not repeat history. What you learn. You learn from it, and
Yeah.
now we're going. Now you have this new one. Okay, now show me what you learned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which could be the way it goes all throughout.
I'm sure it is.
And then when you don't progress and you stay the same,
you
that's
just keep
when
repeating history until you learn how to get out of the loop, right? How to get out of the matrix. And the whole key to that is to know that you're in control without being in control, which sounds really fucked up, I know. But it's the relaxation and the ease of the knowing that makes you be able to be in control without being in control. Because if I understand that what I think and feel and act out in my daily life is what I bring more of to me, and I'm as happy as the Dalai Lama is in his everyday life, and that's one jolly man. If you're that happy, shit, and that's probably why he's so happy too. Because he knows. Duh. But if you're just relaxed and in that blissful, happy state, you bring in more bliss and happiness. That's a fact, right? And even the rules of time don't apply anymore because time flies when you're having fun for a reason.
Right, and when you're in a shitty ass mood and you're in
It drags.
you affect everybody around you. You change,
Absolutely. You change
have,
the dynamic
You can have a
of
person come
everything.
in, be in the best daggone mood they've been in, and you say something snarky to them.
You don't even have to say it. We can
you
feel
just,
that shit,
you can
right?
just look at them and be like, oh shit, I ain't talking to her today.
Yeah, changes the whole dynamic of what could have happened. Your odds of probability just got fucked for this particular world's reality in any given moment. So if we all understand that, then we're all in control of the creation, and we know that we're in control of the creation, and so there's no worry or sweating it.
We create our own reality.
Every day, every second of the day, we're creating our reality with every choice and thought we make. Yes.
Free will.
Free will. Which is a beautiful thing if you understand how to use that tool. It's a really beautiful thing. But so many people are like, I don't understand free will, because they're caught up in that dog eat dog, day to day.
I have free will, you owe me. And if that's not what free will is.
No, and they're also like, well, if I have free will, how come I have to go to work every day to pay my bills?
Right, that's what I'm saying. You owe me.
Yeah.
Why do I have to do this?
But if we all understood how to use that free will to create on a more balanced, calm, focused, level playing field, we would all work in unison together and do the things we love, and it wouldn't be a job anymore. It's our gift. right? And not in like a socialist kind of bullshit way, but just seriously, you know, I know people that have said they work 9 to 5 and they hate their fucking job, and they tell me they wish they could just quit working and just work with wood because they love working with wood. They love working with their hands, you know. I know people that say, well, hell, like me, I want to just go prove Bigfoot is really a Neanderthal man instead of having a 9 to 5 job, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
we would all get to do what we truly love doing, and it still benefits society. And I mean, as long as we're getting paid for our things, then that's still the exchange, you know.
When you love what you do, it's not work.
Right. Right. But, you know, for somebody to make me something with their hands from wood, I would want to exchange that energy with the money, right? But it would be like a gift of money, not a forced thing anymore. We wouldn't need to force things. Because it would just be, that's what's fair. You worked hard to make me this thing I wanted, and I'm going to give you money for it, right? That's just the fair way to do things, and we would understand that fairness on a whole different level, and it would open us up to being more of what we naturally are supposed to be, which is patient and compassionate and a unit. You know, we back in any type of human species time in history, we were units, right? And we're so subdivided now into categories that you've got a neighborhood of neighbors and
they don't even talk to each
y'all
other.
don't even exist to each other, you know? Most neighbors won't even wave at your ass when you drive past them or see them outside. We're so disconnected. Because we're so in touch with who we really are anymore. And if we were all doing what we love, we wouldn't want to be such stick in the mud assholes to each other. We wouldn't have that need anymore. Everybody's like basically sucks, right? In their own mind, in some way, shape, or form. Something has happened in their life that makes them not
Dear
feel
God.
fulfilled and happy anymore. And all of that weighs on people.
Ultimate
We're all
loudness,
jaded.
please.
But if we can figure out how to get out of the matrix, which I think I have done a pretty good job of helping us do, then we can have reason to be happy again. All of us. And healed. And that would be fucking fantastic. Because how many times has some psychologist told us bullies are only bullies because they've been treated really badly by somebody else, right? And perpetrators were typically victims themselves before they became a perpetrator. It's a repeat. It's a rinse, repeat thing until you break that mold and you do something different.
It's what you learn.
Right.
If you learn it, you're going to repeat it.
Right.
If that's all you know.
Well, I mean, you still have that free will choice.
Right, but if that's all you know, you're more likely going to follow right into that, in those footsteps.
The odds of probability, the odds of probability say that even if there's umpteen thousand yous, 3/4 of your umpteen thousand yous are going to choose that odd of probability right there.
You have the ones who don't, don't repeat, but 9 times out of 10, we do.
Yes. Until we figure out how to break that chain, break that cycle. And there's a lot of that theme going on with the Star Children and the volunteers, or whoever you want to call us, and people saying that we're here to end karmic debt, not just for ourselves, but for our families even. Because think about the fucking ripple effect that creates if just in one world enough of us can figure this shit out that we change it and it ripples out and hits all of those other lifetimes, and at least, if nothing else, at least makes them better. right? It might not end all of their chaos until the rest of the us's are ready to wake up. Because, you know, there's some tramp that looks just like me in another lifetime that's, you know, on drugs or don't give a fuck about this kind of stuff or something, and that bitch ain't changing, you know,
right?
Because she's hard-headed and stubborn.
Which I think that's part of. I still get it. I still have it in my head when you talk about the world split. I still think it is the cutting loose of the multi-world universe.
I think you're right there. Yeah, I think it's like a cord cutting thing.
And then you have a new start, and you get a chance to be better. And maybe that's how it's been all along. Maybe this has happened multiple times.
Oh, maybe it has, and there's been jumpers before us, and there'll be jumpers after. I fucking love it. Yes.
Because you're learning
constantly. Because it's a constant.
And it's just something that repeats itself. So once it gets so chaotic and so crazy in the world, okay, it's time.
Yes, like a festering pimple.
It's time to send some people. And we're gonna do this again. We're gonna try it again.
Yeah, it's getting way out of hand. Fixing to go to hell in a handbasket. We gotta send some jumpers. Fuck.
We gotta wake up some people so we can start the world all over again.
And that makes so much sense to me too. With the whole, like when I heard everybody talking about we got to go back to Earth and we got to do this and we need volunteers and blah blah, and I'm like, oh hell no, I ain't going back there again. I ain't going back there again. What was the again thing about? I never could figure that out, but that would explain it. Because we've done it before. We've done this before. Some fragment of us has done this before. We are like time travelers. We totally are. Because a lot of you were like, you know, we gotta go.
That sounds like something.
I was like, listen.
That sounds like something I would say.
Don't guilt trip me into this. I'm not going this time. I was adamant. I didn't want to. I was like, fuck this. No.
That sounds like me.
I was like, leave them up to their own chaos down there.
And that's you. That's you.
I know.
Come on. You gotta see the good in people.
I mean,
gotta
I do,
help them.
But I do try to see the good in people. So, I mean, I really do. All the time. Like, all the time. But that particular me, she was that one that didn't make me keep my foot on that bitch. You know, like me, I keep my foot on that bitch. I don't let her think that way. This me in this lifetime here on planet Earth 775,354, whatever it is, right? In the multiverse. But me back on, planet 1.
Right.
She's just like, fuck humanity. She's like, nope. I don't want to do all this again. I done been through it. I'm done doing this. I'm ready to retire. I'm ready to retire and just enjoy my life.
How many times had you done it before?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How many times had you done it before?
Oh. You know what that just made me wonder too? What kind of lifetime are we in that world? If in that particular container we know all of our lives and we know that we did that before.
How old are we really?
How old is that chick really? Because she looked hella good. She was like 32-ish. Top fit shape. Top of her game. Just the right age. Goldilocks zone. Right? And she knew. That me knew. We've done this before. But then there's also all those past lives too, where I was a Native American, or I was in Atlantis, or like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I remember being there, and there. So when we're done there, do we go back to that planet number 1 spot
And then go out again.
until we're done learning, or do we get to graduate to that spot? Like that's where I want to figure out right there. Or is that just ground zero where we came from at inception, right? Like, is that our heaven space, quote unquote, heaven space where we were created?
Could be. That could be our home base,
Yeah,
so to speak.
yeah. Well, home base is in the Taygeta star system. So, I mean, even that would make sense to me if it is home base, because we've already been uncovering like archaeology and different things that proves the theory that the Pleiadians are like one of the main groups we came from.
Yeah.
And that's why they come here so frequently and visit and interact with people and are watching the way our progress and stuff, you know, because they're very invested and connected to us. And maybe that's why. Because all of us star children are them. Are in fact them. And I mean, all people are them, but like somehow we're in a different group where we are wiser, maybe older than the others or something. I don't know how.
Maybe like the council.
Maybe we are like part of the council.
Food for thought.
The teachers.
Definitely teachers, because like everybody I've spoken with that feels like they're a star child or a volunteer or an indigo or whatever word they want to use for it, we all relate to the same things. We all feel like even in our past lives we were healers and teachers and knew science, right? We were highly intelligent people. I mean, like, we all have those things in common. So we've been teachers and we've been preachers and we've been ministers and we've been healers, whether it was a doctor or a shaman or whatever, in a multitude of these lives here on planet Earth. But maybe not this specific planet Earth. And that's the whole Mandela thing. That's where that plays in, because in some worlds that we were in a past life, they had Jiffy peanut butter and Berenstein bears. And then we jump into this world, and this world has Berenstein bears, or Berenstain, whatever it is they say now, and Jif peanut butter. No, I ain't buying that either.
No.
I think that's got something to do with the timelines funneling down and colliding upon each
And
other.
I still believe,
Because I literally remember some point in between the trip where we moved from Arkansas to get to Indiana, and my first day of school in Indiana, somebody, like my first week, whatever, I was brand new, I was a new kid. Somebody mentioned peanut butter and asked me what was my favorite kind, and I said Jiffy. And they said, "You mean Jif?" And I said, "No, Jiffy." And they're like, "Oh, that's weird. Where we come from, it's just Jif." And I'm like, "Oh, maybe Arkansas just has Jiffy peanut butter." And I totally skipped it, and that's how because
yeah.
I know Arkansas ain't got big red and pork wieners,
Right.
like Indiana does. So I'm like, okay, yeah, Jiffy peanut butter. They just don't have it here. It's not a thing. And then learned later that that's a whole Mandela thing.
Yeah, but I still think the Mandela effect is someone keeping us busy and someone seeing how they can dupe us. Are we going to see it? Are we not going to see it?
Well, I mean, some of it could be fuckery, for sure, where somebody has went and messed with a timeline somewhere. Absolutely, 100%. I agree with that. That it could be some kind of fuckery. But it doesn't even have to be nefarious fuckery, honestly. It could just be where somebody, I mean, how many time travelers do we know of so far? Nikola
Just change
Tesla
something.
was not the only one that knew how to build a time machine. So, yeah, somebody's went back in some time, and just from being there, maybe because they saw their doppelganger, they altered time. And by the way, I think that's what doppelgangers are too. When you see another you in this lifetime, it's really that your parallel universes just bled together somehow. Because they really belong in another one, and it is another you.
As long as I remember, there's always somebody out there that looks like you.
Right.
You have.
And did you know that 8 out of 10 kids all feel like they had a twin that got separated from them at birth? Yeah.
I always wanted to be a twin, though, in my head.
I always felt like I was a twin, and they just didn't tell me the truth about it. Like my twin must have died or something. I always felt that. And I don't know, I'm literally almost everybody I know feels like they either had a twin and lost it, but didn't really. You know, they just feel that way. Or they always wish they had a twin.
Yeah, I mean, from being young, I used to always tell Mom, I wish I had a twin because I'd like to trick you.
Yeah.
That was my thing. I wanted the trickery.
Right.
Like, that's what I would always say. I want to know if you know it was me or not.
Yeah. See, I think on some level in our DNA, we already knew that there's more than one of us. That's what I'm saying, because we're the Starseed kids, the volunteers that came to this specific planet Earth, you know, number 777, 534. Wherever that number come from. And so on some level in our DNA memory, we know that there's more than one of us. And that's why we talk crazy like that when we're kids, right? Because I bet knowing Aunt Janet, she said, that's crazy talk.
Yeah. And then she would always say, well, I would know. If you was a twin, I would know who was who. You wouldn't be able to fool me because I'd be your mama.
Right.
She's telling me that all the time, but I was adamant. I wanted to know if you'd be able to tell us apart.
Did you ever have a near-death experiences? I wonder if you did, and on some level you knew that you weren't the Missy that was here first. Did I just trip your head up? Did I just trip your head up?
For thinking that way?
Yeah, because of you thinking that way, like on some level you knew that you're not the original Missy that came here.
I don't know, but I can remember from being very, very, very young.
And maybe that's why your dad that wasn't really your dad used to tell you that he came here to be your dad. Maybe he followed you here from the other. Maybe all of us got sucked in that way. Did you just get chicken?
Yeah. Like,
maybe we all got sucked into this one.
Hair standing straight up chicken.
Like that. And some of us had to follow the others to all be in the same world. Maybe they hijacked our bank chute. You know what I mean? Or changed our coordinates to where we were supposed to go. Instead of going to planet Earth 777-354, they sent us to 777-353. Some of us. And so other ones had to jump over and pull us in to the one they were in. Or they just had to jump into the one we were in. One or the other. But I think you were pulled in. So I think somebody had to cross over and snatch you up and pull you over, and like a kid couldn't have done that. We're all kind of the same age. Most of us volunteers are all in the same, 20 to 30 year age span there. So it had to have been somebody older that was a more seasoned jumper, if you will. Like your dad, who also used to say he came from Taygeta.
Yep.
What was his name? Tor von Eckel of Taygeta. Yeah. Yeah, you got switched.
Which?
Oh my God. And in that other life where he came in, where you belonged, where he came and got you here from the other one and brought you here, what if you really were his daughter in that lifetime? And that's the connection. Roger really was your birth dad. In at least one of them, right? Instead of a stepdad.
Yeah, because I've always felt like he was my dad. Like,
Yeah.
even now, like, he is my dad. Like, I feel it deep. I mean,
And that's
there's
why.
no qualms about it. I ain't never called him my stepdad. Never.
I know.
When I introduced him, he's my dad.
Yeah, I know.
And
And he is 100% always said, you're his daughter. In the story.
And no matter what he was in this life, like the alcoholic and mean. I mean, I've always defended him. Always.
Yeah. I know.
Everybody be like, well, he really wasn't your dad. I'm like, well, he had some issues and couldn't be around us.
But he was a great dad.
But when he was with us and he wasn't drinking.
Yep. Just exactly like mine. And what if that was part of the point too? That we all had to have that deadbeat parent.
To learn?
In order to force us to learn more, because we were expected to pick up that last piece of the puzzle. We were expected to pick up
because your dad was an
the
alcoholic
ball,
too, and so was mine.
And break those cycles, break those chains, break those karmic debts. So because that's another thing all these star children have in common is they had detrimental childhoods, at least their childhood, right? If not their adult life as well. Like lots of trauma. We go through lots of traumatic things, right? You've had your fair share. I've had my fair share, more than our fair share. All of these people I've talked to, these thousands of people in the last 5 years, have all had more than their fair share of bullshit in this lifetime. And look how beautiful they are. Anyway.
Yeah, because I've always
Despite
said that.
it.
It's like, damn, what am I... You know how I used to be. What the hell am I... What's wrong with me? How come this shit keeps happening to me?
And why do you good guys keep finishing
Why
last?
am I always the one that gets hurt and ends up with shit?
Yep.
Everybody else goes out smelling like a rose.
Right.
Go on with their life like it didn't even affect them. And me, I'm over here...
Suffering.
A hot damn mess.
Yep. And that's why this time we make sure that the good guys finish first. That's going to be the real definition of good guys finishing first. Because we're figuring this shit out enough to change something and shatter the matrix mirror. Shatter the illusion.
Yep.
Fuck me, that just took me to another deeper rabbit hole where life really is kind of like a simulation in the sense that our soul can be piped into all of these different... We're like a biological... We're like a biological computer, basically. Network of computers. One of the things that a lot of human beings actually fear the most right now of coming into fruition, where AI is intelligent. But we are the original AI. That's how they knew how to make it. I mean, like literally like everything else. The camera was made because of our eye lens and the way it operates and us understanding that. And then we made cameras, right? We have a computer because we've started learning how the brain functions and works. So we create a computer that mimics us. Like we've manufactured material items to mimic us and grown from that into how to recreate us in a simulation of an AI. So we've just made another whole tier of simulation that also needs to be carefully constructed.
Yeah, because we can also be creating our own demise,
right,
by doing this. Because they're going to, like the Terminator, shit's going to turn.
Yeah. So we have to be very careful and realize that all of this is being duplicated and copied from what we are. From exactly what we are. Because let's face it, those 13 families or 1% or whoever the hell is running this world, they know that shit. That's what that secret society teaches everybody. Exactly what I know and I've always known is what's in those esoteric teachings.
Yep.
It's what Jesus knew. It's what Buddha knows. It's what Hare Krishna knew. You know, like all of it. It's the same thing that the Freemasons knew. It's the same thing the Illuminati knows. Like, the only way to win this game is to understand and know exactly what they understand and know. And that is, bottom line, that we are creators.
Boom.
And we can take control of that without forcing it to fit.
Yep.
We can totally take control of that. And then whoever wants to sit around a campfire and sing Kumbaya and hand out flowers to people, by golly, go do it. Somebody needs to be handing out flowers to everybody else.
Yep.
Because not everybody's going to want that job. We're going to need some flower people. Florists. We're going to need the florists. This is like pow, pow, pow. And like the crop circles, I think the crop circles are like activation templates. They're helping us to wake up. That's what I think they are. I think they're there to trigger DNA memory to help us wake up and really know thyself.
I used to always think they were maps.
Some of them are maps to different like star systems and things. But they all have energy in them that heals and activates the planet. And if it's healing and activating the planet, then it's healing and activating us as well, because we're connected to the planet. We're symbiotic with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people like me that are light workers or grid workers, when we're doing our grid work, I know that some of those crop circles are created from that because we've done them in group settings to test it to make sure, like a scientific thing. And that we would focus on a specific grid point, and then within like 24, 48 hours, it was being put on the news that there was a small crop circle put there. They're not the big magnificent ones, but they are like small and very cool looking,
Right.
sacred geometry stuff. And I think those are being created, and we weren't trying to focus on making a crop circle. We were focusing on our grid work, which is just stabilizing dipoles and stabilizing the core and sending out the love and protection shields and all those kind of things, right? Across the globe, seeing all the points. And when we would do that, these little smaller sacred geometry type crop circles would show up. And so I think we have it in us as creators to create those templates on the planet that are like home base, right? It's like a base, like in baseball. Maybe not home base, but like first base or second base or third base, right? Because we can create those. And eventually, I think we'll even be able to create home bases. We're just not there yet. We have to understand that we're creating first, second, and third to begin with. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Like the 1, 2, 3 that keeps popping up. Remember? Like when Mom's talking to me in spirit form, the 1, 2, 3 pops up a lot. And that's how much is even like in her bank account still. $1.23. 1, 2, 3. Ironically. Yeah. We got to go through the steps. We have to take the proper steps to wake up correctly. And then we can figure out how to make home.
And there are a lot of people that's awake, and there's a lot of people that are still waking up.
Yeah.
There's more now that's paying attention and knowing things, seeing things that wasn't before.
Right.
They're voicing their opinion when before, even if they knew it before, oh, I can't say nothing. They'll think I'm crazy.
Yeah. They were afraid to speak up. But now they're hearing more people talk about things, and they're like, oh, I've experienced that too, or I've thought that too, or I've always felt that way too. And yeah, they're like absolutely elated that somebody else thinks that way or experienced that
Talk
like that.
about God nods
Yeah,
being loud.
I mean, I don't know.
Woo.
Literally every single time I've talked to somebody, that's their reaction with how I can relate to what they're speaking on. Because even I thought that I was alone in this world and I was the only one that felt this way or thought this way or anything, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And to start learning there were other people, it's so exciting to know that you're not alone and you're not crazy. It's so exciting and relieving, and there's all kinds of words, all kinds of good words, and maybe a little scary too sometimes, right? A little trippy. I know there's times that like I'll be thinking something or think I've figured something out, and then I'm like, but is that even crazy? Like still now I'll be like, but is that too far?
Yeah,
And I'll put a limit on me even.
But now
I'm guilty of limits.
But now when you feel that way, get out.
Yep.
And the limit gets removed.
And
yes.
it removes because you're like,
you do very good at helping me not doubt it. You do, yeah. I know, because we're good. We're good for each other like that.
like I said, I don't know a lot. I don't know a lot. But
you
for
do.
some reason, sometimes it just pops in my head.
But
and
that's
it comes
it.
right out. And
But
I'm like, did I just say that?
But that's it. That's my gift right there. That's my gift to everybody else. Is that if I can get you in the conversation, or at least listening, somehow it unlocks stuff in you to where then you remember what you know and who you are. You start remembering. Like, that's my magic superpower, right?
Yeah, because I've done it a couple times. I'll be like, where'd that come from?
And so many other people that's happened with. Like, I'm just talking about shit I know. And all of a sudden they're like, and this and that, and then next thing you know, they're like, I don't even know where that came from. I don't even usually think that way or blah, blah, blah. But that just came right out of me. Because I unlocked something in them by just speaking what I know about some shit. And about some shit. But like that's my gift, right? We all have our main gift, and that's mine. And it's not something I try to force on people or it's just happening. It just beautifully, symbiotically, naturally, organically happens. Where you just unlock. And then all of a sudden you're like, fuck, I do know some shit.
Yeah.
And that's what we all need, is to be
Empowered.
propping ourselves up and knowing that we do know some shit.
Yes.
And not keep quiet about it anymore and not feel like we're crazy and not be reserved, and afraid to share our 2 cents worth. Because the more of us that talk about it, just like me and you fire off of each other, the more we can really figure out. Yes. Oh, I just will lavish the day that we can set in some fantastic roundtable type discussion where everybody's right there, equal par, giving their knowledge and their wisdom and their 2 cents worth on it, and we're all just like blah, 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 and it's just flowing and collaborating, and there ain't no debate about it. It's not like when me and my brother are talking, right?
Don't argue about it.
And he wants to try to debate and dictate and inferior to my knowledge, so he has to try to outsmart me, kind of dumb shit.
You're wrong and I'm right.
Right. It ain't none of that. It's where everybody's flowing together good, like me and you do.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful flow. Because, man, the energy, can you feel the energy right now from the way we've been talking? Like, I feel not high as a kite, but high as a kite, right? Like, I don't feel high like I'm stoned, but I feel like I'm elevated in energy.
Very energetic.
When we first started that movie, me and you both, we were just like yawning and tired and foggy headed and fatigued, and now I'm just like pumped.
At the way because when we first started watching, I thought, oh man, this is gonna be stupid, but it actually made us think of stuff, and then when it was over with, it was like bam, 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 bam. and we were throwing shit out there and
Oh,
coming to
it
conclusions.
definitely made us start firing off some shit back and forth. Because all through
And
the whole...
we never even heard of that movie before.
Till like 3 days ago. Wasn't it like 3 days ago? Yeah, never heard of it. Parallel. And we thought it was called Vertical, but it's actually called Parallel.
Well, it's both.
And that's how I found it.
There's different versions of, not different versions, but different clips will say vertical and one will say parallel.
Well, that's probably because of the whole parallel universe theme of the movie, I guess. But I found it by Googling vertical. But when the movie came on, it said it's called Parallel. And I was like, wait, we're already in a fucking parallel universe just since I purchased this movie.
Yeah, it's got both names. Because I was confused at first. I'm like, why does it keep changing? The name keep changing. But different things. One would say vertical, and one would say parallel.
Yeah. It definitely made us... Everybody needs to watch that damn movie, man. Everybody needs to watch it.
Everybody.
I wish we could just, like, pipe it into everybody's TVs and radios and iPads and everything, and everybody just watches it. That'll wake them up.
Not everybody's ready for that yet to
I know.
see that.
That's true.
Because the way that ended, that could make you go crazy too.
Oh, definitely,
A
man.
person, okay, like take for me for instance.
It could fuck you up.
I lost Steve, right?
Yeah.
So what if I wasn't in a good space? And I watched that movie and I believed in all that stuff.
Then you'd be trying to figure out
how to get to Steve.
You'd be trying to figure out how to get in a portal
To get to Steve.
and go to another parallel universe where he's still alive. Exactly. I know. I'm right there with you. Yeah, I agree. Because just like with my situation, let's say in this lifetime, I did lose my child in that car wreck. And then I see that movie. That would fuck me up, dude. I'd want to go... Because at the end, she finds her
stuff,
you know?
Yeah.
So...
Her husband, her kid.
Spoiler alert.
The family that she wanted. You know, the family she lost.
Yes.
She lost it all. And she sit there and watched them shoot themselves.
Right. And in some other parallel universe, even if you discovered this, that this is a reality, it might make you go crazy and you're just like, I give up because I'll never find my people.
It'll make you mad.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's, I'm thankful, I'm grateful that it's us watching this movie. This us, you know, because it didn't trip us out or send us over the edge. And you're right. There's people in this world that are not ready for that.
Yep. They are not in the right
100%.
headspace. They may be just starting their journey.
And they do more of that forcing
and know
stuff.
that it's... Okay. In their head, they know that parallel universes exist.
But they just ain't ready for it.
But they just ain't ready to see.
Yeah.
And then if it was Davis to watch that movie, then they may be like, okay, I believe they exist, so they really do exist, so maybe I can find my person.
Mm-hmm.
Now.
Right.
And now you're on that path to finding your person, and you done lost all.
And then you turn into the mad scientist that just went cuckoo trying to get there. Yeah.
So.
Kind of like he felt about his dad, you know, because his dad was the one that was in on that whole
They all thought
experiment.
he was mad because
and
he
they
kept
thought he was a
saying it.
crazy nut.
And the dad he could have maybe lost his wife. Maybe.
Well, I was going to say they never talked about a mom.
Yeah.
So maybe he was trying to figure out how to find the world she's in.
And maybe he found it.
And
that's why he never came back.
Right. And that's why they thought he was a raving lunatic.
And he just disappeared.
He just vanished. Yeah.
Yeah, he vanished in them other realities.
Yeah.
Or he got killed in that reality.
Right. Or one of his other people killed him. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was a great movie. And I was waiting for, like, the catch, right? Where they, at the end, it's not real.
I thought she was going to wake up.
She was just in some kind of psychosis or some shit. I was really waiting for some kind of shitty punchline at the end.
Yeah, when she woke up on the bed and the bird hit the thing, I was like, she was freaking dreaming. You know?
Right? Like it was all just a bad dream.
And even as it went on, when he grabbed her hand,
because it all played out the same.
I was like, okay, it's a damn dream. But
Yeah.
then but she walked in the room and all of his stuff was around.
And that too, the way that it ended shows that strength of our willpower and how if we want something bad enough, we can achieve it. Because talk about moving some mountains. This chick went through parallel universe after parallel universe.
And she gave up at the end.
And was ready to, she was so tired, she was just ready to give up.
She thought.
And then realized it happened. But see, that's when it happens. Boom! That's when it happens. Right there.
When you let it all
When you
go.
let go and let God. Let go and let God. And then bam! Happy ending.
Because when she came back, she thought she was coming back to the house where there was no one. She thought, you know what I mean?
Yeah, she thought there was nobody there. We all did. Everybody
we
watching.
thought it was the house that she left.
Yes.
Where they killed themselves.
Yes. Oh my God. We're going to ruin the movie for everybody listening. We're going to totally ruin the movie. But it's, what a fucking, wow. I love this. I mean, like I was so, I've had such lackluster for movies for the past probably, I don't know, 8 or 10 years now. Just a small handful of movies would come across that interested me. And this is like the best damn movie I've probably watched maybe in my whole life, honestly.
And I thought it was going to be bad.
Maybe in my whole life. Really great movie. Yeah, my Siskel and Ebert gives it 2 thumbs up.
That's so funny because I was thinking that in my head.
You literally
Ding,
just
ding,
saw
ding.
Siskel and Ebert in your brain.
Yes.
I might have projected it. We're in sync with one another.
I swear, I was just thinking. In my head, I was like, "We're like Siskel and Ebert."
We are like Siskel and Ebert.
And then you said it.
Yep. Well, maybe you projected it into my head. I don't know, but we're definitely
We're in tune.
We're
is what I'm
definitely
saying.
on
We're
the
in tune.
same wavelength.
But it was funny. I
sister.
was like, "We're just like Siskel and Ebert."
Yeah. 2 thumbs up, by golly.
Shit.
Fantabulous movie.
Absolutely.
Parallel, vertical, whatever you want to call it. Either or. Tomato, tomato, right? So cool. So cool. And I'm glad I wasn't touching any electronics when I got all hyped up there.
Yeah.
Right? Like the fucking computer last night, the image, it blew up to, it went to a totally different
Yeah, I don't even know.
map.
I don't even know what you did.
I didn't even touch it. My hand was next to it. I was getting ready to like zoom in on Indiana, and got all.
You zoomed it in, all right.
I got all big energy all of a sudden over it, and yeah, it zoomed us in to I don't even know what, and it was a completely different map when I got it zoomed back out. It was crazy. You totally even flipped to a different map somehow. I did some crazy shit there. So yeah, I'm glad I wasn't touching nothing when we got big energy just now. That's why I keep putting my hands on my hips. I keep trying to glue my hands to my hips so I don't touch nothing else. Yeah, if I reach for things, I might zap them. So I just sit here like a dork with my hands on my hips.
We was jumping all around a while ago.
I know, I was like right in the middle of the floor.
Jumping in this time zone in this universe.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm like so stoked about this because I feel like this was like a breakthrough moment, right? I really do.
Drop the mic.
I really feel like it was a breakthrough moment.
Yep.
Okay.
Now I have to contemplate.
Now I'm gonna go pee and contemplate like the thinking man.
And I'm gonna.
And that was the end of that discussion. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. And I hope you hit that thumbs up like Siskel and Ebert and give us a like and share this far and wide so that we can wake everybody up. Until next time, be well and be blessed in love and light.